Vishwasutras, Universal Principles for Success.
Hi Vishwas.
Hi.
So when I met you first time, I believe that I am fortunate and I got introduced to you in a program which you conducted first time in the city of Pune. I was quite inspired, and knowing your story, I started thinking that not only that I should be using some of the principles you taught, but we are in touch with thousands of students and we are in the business of enhancing employability of thousands of students every year. In a year we teach 40 or 1,000 students, and they come to us to learn their technical skills as well as the soft skills so that they would get a job. Since then I've been thinking, can the program which you conducted can be used by some of the students that we have, those who come to SEED Infotech to learn the technology as well as to get a job. And our observation has been, even if the student is technically good, what lacks is the soft skills, the confidence, the self-esteem, so on and so forth. And your story was quite inspiring. So let me first let me understand what is your story, how it happened. It was quite inspiring for me, and maybe the students, when they listen to this story, they will also be inspired.
Narendra, thank you very much. First of all, it was a great pleasure to meet in that program. I believe that there was a divine purpose to it. My story hasn't been very different from an ordinary man. I grew up in slums of Pune, studied in a very moderate schools. My parents, however, imbibed and inculcated the values of life. My mother said it's important to progress, and I always tell her a story that she once told me, that's important to rise in life each time you fell down. She was pregnant with my younger sibling, 8-9 months pregnant, working on a bridge constructions, carrying 20 kilos and more of stones to 2-story, 3-story height, when she fell down and she was profusely bleeding. As a young kid, I said, you know what, you need to stop. She said, yes, I can stop, but life will not stop. So it's important for me to rise up one last time. So my story, from a slum boy to my previous incarnation of a science diplomat, has been always that rising up one last time. Because I believe that we are gifted with what I call as a slumdog hope. You can be in the worst of the worst situation in life, but your hope to succeed, survive and prosper is undeterred, unflinching, and that will give you immense power and strength to move forward. My father always taught me that in order to succeed in life, you have to put yourself in a discomfortable situation, because it's only then you fight against the odds. And I had a fortune to meet people from all walks of life. And one thing that I have realized, that we can be ordinary. Our past can be very sad, not very glorious. Our present can be very painful because of these situations that we are moving through. But we have an immense potential to shape up our future. Because the best thing that we as a human being can do is that we can control our thoughts. And I strongly believe that who we are today is a manifestation of what we think about ourselves. So, Narendra, in many a sense, my story just symbolizes the story of any common man who has unflinching and undeterred hope to succeed.
Amazing, amazing. So when I heard your story the other day on the stage, even I could relate, and I had a similar experience when I talked to the friend, those who were with me. They could also relate their own stories to the story that you narrated. And when I read your book and just browsed through that, I realized that some of the points which you said the other day are covered in that. Why did you choose to write this book?
I think I, in my early life, realized that I have a flair for writing. But I also felt that each one of us is a success story in its own form. The very fact that you are born is a success story itself. It's a natural decision for me to write this story because it's compelling. But it's also commonly ignored because we have a tendency to celebrate others' success,
Yes.
and not our own success. And I have realized that you can truly celebrate somebody else's success if you celebrate your own success.
Yes.
And therefore it was a natural decision to write the story. It's not just my story, it's a story of billions of people across the globe. And I think we have a reason therefore to celebrate this story. Also, success does not depend, or the measure of success is not how much you have been successful in your own life, but how many people you can inspire to be successful. And I think that to me has been an amazing inspiration, that if I can inspire few hundreds, few thousands, and who knows millions across the globe, then life is worth celebrating, which is why I wrote that book.
Okay. So I think whatever the principles that you have covered in this book are also covered as a part of your program, Success for Life. Can you talk something more about this program so that I can relate to how it can be used for our students?
Okay, Success for Life is something, a natural progression from writing a book. When I wrote this book and presented to some of my friends and peers, they started inviting me to share the story. They started inviting me for reading the book program.
Yes.
And then they gave me a feedback that, why don't you use your oratory skills and presentation skills to inspire more people and put this system in such a way that anybody from any walks of life can take up the inspiration from these stories and these principles that you have outlined in the book. When I thought about it, I felt a larger need, a greater need. And the greater need is to redefine the success. Unfortunately, our understanding of success has been limited to materialistic success and the recognition-based success. It's largely driven by ego. And therefore, I have categorized success into three categories. One is the survival success, where around 30% of population of the world resides. They cannot decide which way to go. They are driven or controlled by somebody else. They survive to meet basic needs. There is a lack of inspiration. The second category, which is very much threatening to me, is the motivated success category. These are the people who have comes from lower middle class or upper middle class strata, has opportunity to learn and educate themselves. But the societal constraints and belief has ill-motivated them to run for a success which is driven by the ego or fueled by the ego. And therefore it's all about bigger thing, better thing, more things only for me.
Yeah.
And that's a motivated success category. And if you look at the third category, so this category is around 60 to 65% of our population. And the last category is around 1 to 5% people, is called inspired people. Like Mahatma Gandhi, Abraham Lincoln, Nelson Mandela, Mother Teresa, Baba Amte for that matter. These are the people who have grandiose mission in life, larger than life mission. And therefore they got everything that the motivated people struggle for.
Yeah.
And yet they are serving to the larger community. And I think the time has come in our humanity's existence that we inculcate and inspire this inspiration in people to serve for the humanity, serve for the betterment of the globe. And which is why I felt a stronger need to create the system called Success for Life.
So Vishwas, as I told you that we get thousands of students every year. They are in the age group of 18, 19 to 23, 24. The program which you have designed, Success for Life, how do you think this program could be useful, where the only aspiration that they have is not a great goal, but just getting a basic job?
Certainly, I think this system, Success for Life, is my own introspection of over 10,000 hours in last 20, 25, 30 years of professional lifespan.
Okay.
I have moved across the world in different countries, different institutions, started as a slum boy, but worked for an international organization, research institutions. And I have realized that there are some common principles, there are some common clues and common tools that we often ignore because they are so simple. And anything that is simple we tend to ignore.
Yes.
Therefore, there is a need to put these tools in a form that anybody and everybody can assimilate, understand and implement in their own way, at their own pace. But if they can implement it religiously, and religiously in the sense of discipline, they can fast track their own growth.
Okay.
If they can fast track their own growth, they will have enough inspiration to fuel somebody else's growth. And success is all about not how much you have improved, how much you have evolved, but how many successful people you have built in your career or in your lifespan. And therefore, I believe that the system is proven, the principles are simple, easy to adopt, and they can really fast track your growth. And they can take you from an ordinary individual to a godly individual. Because these are all good ethical values of life.
Yes. There are so many programs in the market which talks about success, which preaches about how to achieve your objectives. The way you have designed this program, having read, having contemplated, having practiced, how do you believe that this is quite unique, and what are this unique value proposition and the features that your program has?
There are several success programs, and as I said, majority of the success programs, and that is one of the lacunas in majority of the success programs, they are very aggressive. They fuel sense of competition, not the sense of complementarity and coexistence.
Yes.
They fuel sense of ego, not the self-respect and self-esteem. And they make you rich but not spiritual. Therefore, I have come to an understanding that life is not there to compete for. Life is not there to kill others. Life is not there to tiptoe on others' area. Life is not there to be always I need. Life is not there about go-getter. Life is also about go-giving. And therefore, the success system that I have evolved is a combination of both. I have taken good things from Deepak Chopra, Robin Sharma, Anthony Roberts, and I have taken good things from Sri Sri Ravi Shankar and other visionaries. Gandhiji's struggle himself, his own life's principles, Martin Luther King, Mother Teresa's compassion. So I have amalgamated all of that into it. So on one side, you will be able to achieve materialistic success, but at the same time, you will be a rich monk. A monk who has no deeper and stronger attachment to anything. Because I believe attachment is the first step towards digging your own grave.
Yeah.
More you are detached from your success, is the larger of your potential and the field of opportunities to move forward. Therefore, this system has 7 parts, and this will be about 20-hour system that we are specifically trying to build for the SEED Infotech students and the faculty and the alumni. The first one is what I call as you are a miracle. We all are a success story, because the very fact that 1 out of million sperms have fertilized a particular egg, which is why we are born, you have won the life. So therefore you are a miracle. And we need to bring that sense of being a miracle in every individual. So the first part works on that. The second is called power of 5S. Self-esteem, self-discipline, self-referral. Not to impress other but express yourself. And similar self-standees, that will make you a complete human being. So that's a power of S. Then how do you prepare for success? Everybody knows how to be successful. People unfortunately don't know why to be successful. Unless you don't connect with yourself, understand your life purpose, it becomes very difficult to be continuously motivated and inspired. So the third module is about preparing yourself for that larger lift-off towards the life's journey to success. The fourth one is about nuts and bolts, how you do it. And I think that I have picked up from several success gurus. It is very important to achieve the milestone, but it's very difficult to sustain that milestone and improve upon. So one of the integral part of a success journey is that how you sustain this. After having got this, normally people become arrogant. They feel there is no end to myself. How do you remain in gratitude, in gratefulness, in giving and in humbleness? So the sixth part is about spiritualizing your success. And I believe the seventh part is just a practical tool.
Okay.
Is that in order to be achieving all these 6 paths, you need to connect to yourself. And meditation is one of the wonderful way to connect to yourself. The unique thing about the program is that I have used time-tested mantras for inculcating specific feelings within yourself. For instance, a mantra like Aham Prema will help inculcate the feeling of self-love. Vardhanam Namaha will help inculcate the feeling of expansion. So I have used that because my purpose is to prove beyond doubt that there is an indelible link between your soul, your success and your spiritual you. Therefore it's not theoretical system. It's a practical system, proven system. It's also a system that is aimed at moving from how to why. It's also a system that is moving away from a war of motivated success players towards the pilgrimage of inspired success bearers. And therefore, and again, as you rightly said it up in the beginning, is that it's self-paced. It's self-help. It's not to help others. It's first to help yourself at your own space. So that is, to me, is a unique part of this system.
This whole program, the way you have designed, appears to be quite holistic. It covers the complete aspects of the individual. But why do you call this as an inspired success, as the name that you have given to this program?
I call it...
What is that inspired success?
Okay. Inspired success is success that is beyond you. As I said, there are 3 categories. Survival success, motivated success and inspired success. Only 1 to 5% of the population is in that inspired success. Take a case of Mahatma Gandhi. Mahatma Gandhi was not inspired for his own success.
Yes.
He was inspired with a larger than life cause, which is freedom, eradicate the apartheid, indiscriminations. But look at, in the whole process, he got everything probably any individual can got. He became the father of the nation. He is most liked person, most revered person across the globe, even after 100 years of his death. So the purpose, I call it inspired, that if you are inspired for a cause that is beyond you, you will be benefited with everything that you need for yourself.
So, going by the way you have defined inspired success, a student at SEED Infotech, if he goes to the program, and he gets a job, and that's one of the success that he gets. Can that be called as inspired success, or just one of the small parameter in the success?
I think I would call it as a step towards inspired success, because today, unfortunately, in the professional world, it's everything title driven.
Mm-hmm.
Our leaders are title driven. In the company, people are title driven.
Yes.
And I think what is required is leaders without the title. You are a leader for yourself. You don't need to be led by others. However, a true leader is one who serves the larger cause, who serves the larger humanity and humanity's needs. And therefore, a SEED Infotech students, for instance, takes up this course, get inspired, get a nice job, or into a profession, or becomes an entrepreneur. He can then continue to work without titles to serve his clientele better, to serve his community better,
Yes.
to contribute better to his company or his organization and organization's goals. So I would say it will definitely put them on an express train towards the inspired success, because then what they will understand in this whole program is that quicker they move away from self-centered, ego-driven success, the better and the larger are chances to be successful at an early stage of their life. And I think that's a simple secret of this program.
Okay.
But, and I think I'm very happy because SEED Infotech, and probably that goes to show your own vision, Narendra, is that you have picked up in that 1 or 2 hours lecture the potential. But your own story has been very amazing and inspiring, and not that many people know. And I thought today is an opportunity probably for you to share how inspiring your own success story has been.
Thank you, Vishwas, for your kind words. It so happened when I was working as a scientist in DRDO, the Defense Research and Development Organization, I started realizing that I'm not in the right place. I was not enjoying my job. Not that the organization was bad, but I felt that I have a lot of potential which is not getting utilized. And I took a life decision to leave the organization, the most safest job. I was working as a class 1 gazetted officer, and to start something of my own. So this journey started in 1994 without any business background or family or even mine. I took a decision that I should start something of my own and explore what best I can do. It's almost 20 years now, with a vision that the students, those are coming out of the schools, various engineering schools, science schools, they are not getting job. The National Skill Development Corporation, or NASCOM, has a statistics that 85% almost the students, those who come out, are not employable. I thought this is a huge potential, rather it's a serious problem to be addressed, and it's a huge business opportunity also. So what we thought, that whatever the students, those are coming out of these engineering colleges and science colleges, those are not employable, but they are potentially wonderful students, we need to provide some inputs so that they become employable. With this small thought, in the last 20 years, from one center, now we have 45 odd centers across the country. As I said, we have, every year we teach 40,000 students, and we try to make them employable. And one of the success criteria for us, which has worked, not only that we give training, but we also give extensive support to place them. And 20 years back, a small organization now has become one of the #2 organization in the country. In the whole process, we started realizing that even if we give training, which is quite relevant to the industry requirements, something is missing. And the continuous analysis has realized that the missing part, as you rightly said in the 5 A's, is about their confidence, about their self-esteem, about their own positioning in front of the interview panel, so on and so forth. And that's the reason I thought the program which you have designed, if it is provided along with our the technical courses, that will make a complete holistic approach for the student to become employable. So with this background, I thought I should talk to you make this program available to our students. And that's a basic premise with which I am interacting with you.
You know, it's very interesting, and I deliberately asked you this question to share your story, because that itself is an example of many principles. A, you risked your comfortable position.
Absolutely.
From being DRDO scientist to somebody who comes without any business background and start afresh. B, you had a larger cause, and that larger cause was to shape people's life.
Yes.
And 2 decades later, now you have created a system, an educational system and a skill set improvement system that will run this organization irrespective whether Narendra Barhate is here or not.
Yes.
Because people are inspired. And I think that's exactly what, from our earlier conversations, that I liked about SEED Infotech's philosophy. And I felt that this is a right organization to start providing these kind of inspirational success systems. And I'm glad that we are here today to introduce it and to talk about it. Because my larger mission in life is to help humanity to move away from a war of motivated success and take them to the pilgrimage of inspired success, so that every individual is soulfully successful and peaceful at the same time. And I think when we are deciding to work on making people successful, soulful and peaceful, in turn we will be quite blissful.
You said it. You're absolutely right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.